up is Nancy in the minutes.
This is the, because we're always a month behind, this is the September amount that Happy Med got. Which is a little more increased than August, because they're now starting to get their system up and going, so hopefully it'll get better. And this is the only thing I got from collections.
Jonathan O'Hara, $131.40.
And Jim had typed out a newsletter for you guys, so you can have that at your leisure. Did you want one of them? Yes, the financial. Yes, you did. Okay, any questions?
I think so.
Hopefully, Ed will be getting that more to par. Jim's gonna keep writing on me, so. Let's see how we did it.
Thank you.
There was an email from him earlier in the week, but I don't remember what it was about.
The reps, if you guys would approve the reps and purchasing the reps, he doesn't need.
And he had it in the budget.
He has it in the budget, he just wants your approval for the design.
You need a motion.
Yes.
I like that motion.
I'll second it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Monica.
Thank you.
Forgot about that.
And Dan here. Thank you. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
All right, starting off with the personnel. We still fully staffed at 17 drivers. I do have one part-time driver out running the brush mower. He's gonna be working until about mid-November. Then he'll be done for the year. We had 3 mechanics. We have contacted the work release program. We just haven't been able to get a good follow-up yet, but we're still trying to get a hold of Mr. Fletcher.
Okay.
So we're still pursuing that.
He hasn't had none out there yet.
No,
Okay. I'll call him later too.
community crossings has not been announced yet. Usually they try to do it the week of the AIC, but nothing's been come out yet on who's going to get accepted for the second call. Know if it's going to have an opening coming up in November for bridges. So we should probably talk about that as it gets closer. We do have Bridge 13 that is ready to go. We did submit it last year and we got rejected on that. The 2 Western Star tandems have been ordered. Our new John Deere tractor and mower has been delivered. They came out last week and went over it with us and spent about 2 hours training us on how to properly use that piece of equipment. Bridge number 7 was completed on schedule, and the final walk around is going to be tomorrow at, I believe, 9 a.m. Which, I mean, there should be no surprises on that. Working with the surveyor's office, we've torn out 5 beaver dams this month. It's kind of funny how the beaver dams are nice through the summer because they hold water, but come harvest season, they want them tore out. So we've been busy tearing out beaver dams. As far as the road work goes, I think we had a pretty successful year. We got 68.6 miles done. We have 680 paid miles in the county. So on a 10-year plan, we should do 68 miles. And over a 10-year span, then we'd be across every road. So this was a big stuff this year, getting to that. Last year, we ended up with like 27 miles of chip seal and like 11 miles of hot asphalt. So 26 and 11, so 37 miles is where we came in last year. So this year we did 26.8 miles of just regular single layer chip seal. We did grindings and chip seal. The grindings is asphalt that we get hauled into the shop that they grind off on a state highway. So that number is going to vary every year because we don't get the same amount of grindings, you know. So this year we were able to lay down 9.3 miles of grindings, and then we sealed it with chip seal. We did 3.3 miles of cold plug. 2 miles on hot asphalt. And then with the community crossing money, we laid 18.25 miles of double layer chip seal. So we put 2 coats on 18 miles. And then we did 9 miles of single layer chip seal. So, you know, community crossings is a great money avenue, but in the past, we've always done hot asphalt. We only get 5 miles for the $1 million. Going with chip seal, we got 27 miles, plus we have another 10 miles that we've applied for in the second call. So, to me, using community crossing for chip seal is the right way to go right now to get the county caught up. I know a lot of people don't like to hear chip seal because they think they're gonna have stones in their yard and you hear the ticking on your vehicles. But
Yeah, some of that chip seal work this year seemed a little loose. There are a lot of areas where I'm concerned we're gonna wind up with a lot of gravel on the side of the road once the plows start going.
well, we did put the stone was a little heavy,
Yeah,
but I'd rather be a little heavy than a little light. But I think once we get into the spring, you're gonna see that that it held good.
okay. There just seemed to be a marked difference between this year's chip seal work and last year's. As far as the stability of what was laid down.
Yeah, we were heavy on stone.
Okay.
So for training on October 10th, we were at the annex building for fire extinguisher training. That went well.
That was
like-
fun. That was real fun.
It worked out good.
Yeah, it did.
Did you actually light off any extinguishers?
Oh, yeah, we.
Did you manage not to blast each other in the face with them?
It was great.
I think we only had one close call.
I've been on the receiving end of those once upon a time. It's cold.
As far as the solar projects, Mammoth, all the modulars have been delivered. They should be installed by the end of December. Oh, I'm sorry, modular delivery should be done by the end of December. They should be installed in February. And their switch yard will be completed in April. So, you know, basically what that means is once they get done with the project, they're gonna dig up their laydown yards and haul the stone back out to their driveways in the field. So until that's done, then we'll have a consultant come in and do the post phase readings on the roads. So the way it's looking is we probably won't do any road projects in Mammoth in the year of 24, because it's just gonna be pushed back too late. Time they do the Pager report, and then we have to negotiate everything out with them,
We're looking at spring of 25.
probably, more than likely.
If the negotiations go good, we should be maybe do some.
You know what's that?
If the negotiations go good, quick, we could do some next
Um,
year.
There's an opportunity to maybe get some work done
Right,
towards the tail end, because we're probably not gonna be doing as much road work for ourselves.
Okay.
So there may be an opportunity to get some done. as far as next area goes, Town and Country should be grading all the solar roads this week. And we have a meeting with them on Thursday. Our monthly meeting. So. Oh, on the last page. Stanley's been working. With the jail on getting them some cameras, and he's also. Been giving us some quotes. So he's got 2 quotes that he's presented to me, one for 28,000. One for 25,000. Which we don't have in the budget for this year.
You're not gonna have it in budget next year either. Well, I'm just saying that if, you know, you do need this and the commissioners. Should think about paying it from someone else.
This is the cameras for the fuel pump and stuff.
Yeah.
So.
It says projected 10 years. What is it yearly? Is it that much a year?
Well, it looks like there's initial install fee and then an annual license fee. That's why it's projected.
Yeah, and they moved it out to a 5-year license renewal, I believe. Instead of a 3-year.
I'm familiar with the Avigilon system, but I'm not familiar with Verkada. I know as far as actually using it and bringing up recordings. The Avigilon system is fairly user friendly, but I think this week to Stanley, can you discuss the differences between actually using the system, retrieving videos when needed and whatnot?
As far as recorded clips, Verkada, since it is cloud-based, you can save an unlimited number of clips in their cloud. And as far as sharing those clips, all it takes is just one click, and Verkada sends out a link to that you can give to whoever needs to look at that clip.
And it's retained for how long?
A lifetime.
Everything it records.
No, sorry. The clips that you save
Save.
are lifetime.
Right, but how long do we have to go
the
back?
Recorded footage
Mhm.
for that quoted hardware is 30 days. It is extendable. They just have to increase the price to put a larger SD card in the cameras. Since all of the recording storage is located in the camera itself.
Okay. Is the Avigilon system, that's really dependent on how much
On the
storage
server
we make
storage
available.
size. Yeah.
On our network. And then we set the length of time we have to review it and
Right.
save it.
And the Verkada one, it does record 24/7, so. It's not like the Avigilon where it takes a pause break when it doesn't see any activity on the camera.
We just have to notice something might need to be reviewed within that 30-day window.
Right.
Do you have a preference?
My preference, especially for the size of the installation at the highway department, is Verkada. Especially considering that Dan is less frequently in his office where he might have viewing capabilities.
It's not like how we've got here at the courthouse, we got 2 guys looking at the monitors constantly.
So with Verkada, he would be able to, anytime he hears about a situation, just pull up the live camera feed on his phone, save the clip right then.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's not a feature in the Avigilon system.
No,
Yeah,
So this is the cost to get it, and then how much a year, Dan?
the initial price, I think he put there of 21,900 something. That is the initial cost and is good for 5 years. And then there is the renewal price for the license after that, to go from the 5 to 10.
I mean, we can buy the 10-year right up front. Or we have to pay for it every year and hope they don't. Jack the price up 3 years from now.
As far as the licensing,
Yeah,
don't know about
Okay,
the
yeah.
lock-in prices for that, but,
yeah, okay.
What you could do too, if you wanted to, and this is just a suggestion, is if you do want to pay for this out of somewhere else, you, starting 2025, you can tell him to build it in his budget and pay you back
Okay.
a couple $1,000s every year. if you want.
I mean, they do offer financing options for this.
When we have the money in one of our budgets now, to do it now, not.
Well, I'm a little, given what, a couple of the emails she sent out earlier. I think I'm hesitant to commit a 5 figures, any 5-figure sum to anything before we do a thorough evaluations on all the departments that she's concerned about. How good is this quote for?
It's, it was a 30-day quote, which has expired as of a couple weeks ago.
Okay,
More than likely, they would still honor it, but, I could.
yeah, reach out to them, make sure it's still accurate, and then get some more information on those financing options you mentioned.
Yeah, I've spoken with them briefly about it. They offer a 3-year, 5-year, and can do payments quarterly, annually, monthly.
We need it all spelled out on paper to look at.
Will do. One more point about the Verkada versus the Vigilon is the warranties on the hardware itself for Verkada is all 10 years. A Vigilon's hardware
Either
warranty
3
for
or
the
5.
cameras is either 3 or 5,
Yeah.
depending on, which is a huge difference.
And then you gotta deal with the server software running out of support,
Correct. Which Verkada does not
which
have that.
we had to do. In 17 or 18 with the existing systems because Microsoft servers went out of support. It sounds like a good deal, but yeah, we need some more information.
More like written out of a contract or something from the thing.
Sorry, what'd you say?
Some kind of a contract, like Mark's saying, when you write it out.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
I can get in talks with them about putting together a financial plan. As soon as I'm told that we would like to look forward to that. And from what I understand, you want me to start having those discussions?
Yes,
I would think so.
Okay,
Try to bring in something to our next meeting.
absolutely.
Okay, that's all I have.
All right. Thank you, David. Then we have a easement west.
I don't, they're here,
Yeah.
but, Bob Roy made this up
Mhm.
based off of our discussion, the last commissioners meeting and. All they really want to do is just change their sign, that's it.
Yeah.
So
Oh, this is the bad
officially,
light
This
there.
is what planning commission needs to be able to change.
Mhm.
but everything's good as far as the set, because that was, I think, the main concern was the sight lines between the one stop sign and the other one. We're all good with that.
Mhm.
I'll make the motion to approve the proposed easement description for the Bass Lake Property Owners Association.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Then we have amendment to the RV ordinance. Is that what you guys were?
Yeah,
Thinking
it's nice to have
one.
one definition. I'm still not sure. Overall about it, but especially since it seems like it's. Now they're wanting to use it to target a particular spot. Which. Um,
Look up more than one.
And there's a few different,
And really, she said, all they gotta do is come ask if she can get them 72 hours. And then, or extended.
yeah.
because I think there was one in particular, right there on 10 and Judson, I think.
Yeah,
I don't know where all these other ones are, but.
Yeah, I've never seen them, but
What do you guys think?
I'm okay with it.
It's mostly because they don't have sewer connections and all that.
yeah,
I think that's the majority of the issues.
right, and that's. Part of a larger issue I'm worried about. And it has more to do with how. Septic and sewer are gonna try and be regulated in the future, especially with. Changes in state law, it seems like. There's some sort of effort to move. The regulation away from the health department and more into. The planning and development. Which, if that's the case, why did we just opt into all the extra health funding for the health department?
It's gonna be a lot more than just that.
Yeah, it's gonna. That's probably our next. Home rule based fight with the state legislature, making sure we still have. Control over. How that's regulated in the county rather than. The state saying this is how it shall be regulated. Because it's the next area where they want a statewide standard, which. Doesn't always fit. Because the state is not one flat level
Right.
equal area. Um, There's, I want to just let you guys do this one without me.
Make a motion to accept.
Motion. These things with that sewer connection, that's. It ain't doing it worse. And we gotta do it on the house.
Right.
Justin, do you know how many there, like, issues are with it? How many there are out there?
About half a, excuse me, about half a dozen what were discussed generally at the last few planning commission meetings. That they brought up, it's hard for me to wait. It's usually the first time I see something when somebody's decided they've not paid, I'm gonna take them to court for it.
Mhm.
So as to the efficacy of it, I can't really attest to, but there's at least half a dozen fights that I think those that alluded to, and there it goes. And
Right?
no, that's like the code enforcement.
Oh, right.
Probably, yeah. So I know there are several locations that they just see and have received complaints on, they said, so.
There's enough. Issues there.
I just, what was never explained to me was why what we had on the books already wasn't sufficient. What's, I mean, we get these pictures of how this is, and yeah, it's ugly, but what's, is ugly the hazard that we're addressing, or? I mean, we can't, I don't know. It just doesn't give me a warm fuzzy at all. Put it in very vague terms. Which I don't want to nullify the efforts of the plan commission. They do good work. And I know a lot of effort and thought was put into this. But I don't know. Because there's benefits, definite benefits in this. If the spirit of this were just followed only, great, but there's with anything. There's a reason why the term Karen has become popular on the internet. And it's from the folks that love to nitpick through, reinterpret the words here that we aren't expecting them to do so, and and just cause problems for their neighbors. And that, which is a door that swings both ways, which is what makes this decision so freaking difficult for me. And I come from a normal stance of less government is always better. So, I don't know.
They wouldn't, we'll study on it till next meeting.
Well, I mean, they've got, see, this is. Depending on how you look at it, second or third time it's been in front of us. And there's. Things they want to take action on that they don't feel that they have. The authority to, which. Still, I still don't understand. If it's a problem, why we need to enhance things. Is. What defines a problem should have been spelled out eons ago. And Donnie, you think it's a good idea? That's. I don't think. You know, if Charlie, if you think it's a good idea, don't let me hold you guys up.
Well, I know I had a couple calls about the one on 10.
Right.
I know I had those, I don't know if you guys got any, but
Yeah, I did.
I just. People start calling you, that's an issue.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I mean, we got enough as it is. I don't want to see us getting 20 or 30 of them. You know, if you have to do something, like Mary said, go to our office and get a permit. And if you need to extend it, get it, you know, a second. You know, some kind of emergency come up or whatever, we had to stay in camp or whatever. And it's saying if you're building the house, you can stay in as long as you talk to them.
Well, we had a motion and I'll second it. All those in favor? Aye. Those opposed?
nay.
Or motion to approve the vendor claims in the amount of $264,889.99.
Second,
All those in favor?
Aye.
Or motion to approve the payroll claims in the amount of $284,768.51.
so moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Is there a motion to approve the minutes from September 18th, 2023 and October 2nd, 2023?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Then we have, paid lunch hours with the sheriff's department.
Didn't we just do this?
He took care of that.
Oh,
So Justin knows why we talked about changing it.
Yeah, and it has a lot to do with the way that hours are banked and use up flex hours, what we call them, right? If we don't offer a paid lunch, or people are working over a lunch hour, then they're counting these flex hours, that Rachel had explained it to me,
We're leaving early on Friday.
and maybe early on Fridays, so. I mean, so you guys, I don't. It's not picking on anybody, but I don't like banking hours inadvertently that can be used, you know, especially in a department like the sheriff's department, which again, it's not to pick on them, it's just. So I don't know that anything has been,
We do, I mean, EMS employees, they get paid lunch, because they work their 24-hour shift and you don't know. So I guess I'm just asking for it to be officially in the sheriff's department as well. And Don and I did meet with their sheriff and they agreed.
remind me, was this for everyone in the department or just the road?
No, all through the dispatchers.
Okay,
I'll get the good thing.
okay,
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
We have the 2024 holiday schedule.
Yeah, it bumps this off of what the state's gonna do. I think we should adopt the state holiday schedule and add President's Day on February 19th.
I agree. Sound good, Don?
Do what with it.
Would take the state's schedule and just add the President's Day. That, and then change, the state has, primary election day is May 7th, and what was sent to us was, the 14th. I'm assuming the state's more correct.
Got it.
So that'll be my motion, is to adopt the state holidays with the and add to it that President's Day on February 19th.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye. Want this?
Yes, thank you. I really don't want to do anything with my office, that back section, I like that back section, how it looks out with the windows and stuff, but I need an additional office. We have prospective employees come to our counter now, they have to drug test at our counter, they have to tell us medications that they take at our counter. Any HR stuff, like, you know, employee has a problem with whatever, they let us know at our counter. There needs to be more privacy, especially for the drug testing part of our new employees, so. I asked Rick and he said he can add an office just like mine, insulated, so you know, can't hear what's going on. And he said it's gonna be like, it'll be under $2,000, maintenance can do it themselves. And it can be done like during the winter.
You got room in your or in your area. You got room in your office.
Yeah, I got room, I don't know if I wanna do it, but
Right.
I don't trust
What's
it.
it, you know, wind up looking like?
It'll probably just look, well, it'll be branched off of mine over
So we're gonna fill in the space between your office and the surveyor's
just
office?
halfway.
Just halfway?
Yeah. Be big.
I would think so. This is for maintenance guys gonna do it, it's not gonna be costly.
Yeah,
He said about 1,500, but I'm asking for 2,000 just in
Right.
case something, and he can do all the electric work, everything.
Yeah, I think there should be some privacy there.
Right.
And I mean, this is something like, even if you guys wanna come in, you need to print stuff out or talk to one of your employees, you know, you could use that office too. Cause I'm not putting anybody in there permanently,
Right.
it's just gonna be you,
Special.
yeah.
Just, yeah, just more of a screened off area.
Yes.
I'm like, move,
I'll second it.
All's in favor?
I would like to pay for it out of Cume County next year.
you're gonna have them start on like. Friday,
In
yeah.
December, or I don't know, whenever he thinks that he can start. Pulling in the materials, but not paying for the bills till next year.
Right, right.
Then we have the ramp, the parking lot.
Yeah, from what I was shown, that needs to be addressed immediately.
Yeah. And it won't be a ramp this time, it'll be just a sweat.
What's, we have a plan to implement then
Or,
for how to fix it?
Is Rick getting?
well, yeah, no,
It's,
sorry.
it's okay.
yeah,
Okay, so it's just,
it'll be the same guy that did it.
okay. We don't have an actual amount to approve or work to approve
I
or
think
what?
he was saying 25 to 3, what he quoted.
And it's gonna be 88, I mean, it's gonna be full to 88 accessible guidelines.
So, yeah,
He said about 2,500.
so we're being asked to approve 2,500 to redo the,
Up to 2,500.
I'll make the motion to approve spending $2,500.
Second.
That was cute.
Yeah.
Had a motion and a second, all in favor?
All right,
Do you have anything else for us, Don? Mark?
yeah. I think you guys might have been on the email chain. I don't know. I don't remember. I didn't look that detailed at what Lisa sent out. But apparently there's
All that's.
more discussions around that Cisco site. I quite frankly have heard enough of that site since 2010. And, but she's asking for a commissioner to sit in on that meeting. If you guys, I would appreciate it if one of you guys would.
I
do that instead of me.
I answered, right?
Oh, you did? Okay. This,
Yeah,
I don't know.
right.
I
I
saw,
think it's a good thing for, you know, getting
Okay.
hiring employees. She just helped them sell it. more than mine.
and then the other thing I had was the lease at the. I got a phone call about that
Easy blockchain.
easy blockchain
Yep.
thing that we had leased out, but the lease is expired. They're no longer paying.
So the lease is expired, their last payment was in June, and they will be out by the end of this month.
So is what's left there now considered to be abandoned for us to deal with?
Not yet. They're gonna remove the trailer. Is there a trailer out there or something?
There's a Connex box on stilts.
They're gonna remove that.
Yeah, okay, cause I got a phone call I got was from a guy, I asked, I think he was with Hamilton Fire Department. Asking if, you know, we would like his assistance in cleaning that up.
There was in there, Rachel, a $2,000 cleanup charge that they're supposed to charge.
Oh, okay,
I don't know where you gotta look to find out, but it's in. the
okay,
minutes.
so if they don't get their stuff out, we can bill them for
Yeah.
$2,000.
Yep.
I will tell Sergi that.
There you go.
That it?
Was it?
Anything for us?
Yes, yes, I do. Remember that Roy Anderson came a meeting ago and we've been in communication. I've been working with him to see best way to move forward to potentially redo our zoning classifications to allow distillery facility potentially on certain property. So I've taken a fairly comprehensive look at what they do down there in Kentucky, obviously the capital of the world. He also had put me in contact with people down there to help me figure out how they do it and how it might be done up here. So what, if you guys are still saying, hey, this is a good thing, let's start at what I would like you guys to do is a vote to initiate the process to change. So what I think has to be done here is we're not talking about an amendment to the zoning map. we're talking about an amendment to the zoning text. Potentially to allow certain classification within a certain zone piece of property. So from what they told me down in Kentucky, if you guys are willing to do it, it sounds like we're excited about the idea, so I don't know why we wouldn't. Is instead of allowing it in a heavy industrial zone, like down in Kentucky, it's allowed in an I2 district, that's their heavy industrial. But if you allow it in an I2 district, it brings in state and federal regulations that could be a lot more onerous on the person looking to develop and locate a facility. So he had said in his email to Roy that, hey, if you can get your commissioners or planning commission to allow you to add this as a classification within agricultural property from a federal regulation standpoint, it's going to be a whole lot easier for you to develop a site. So I looked at what they had, done down in Kentucky, and how they regulate from in an agricultural zone. Fairly comprehensive. It would take a little bit of time, but I'd like to, if you're okay with that, and consider, changing classification or, changing whether it's a conditional use, which would require them to come for the BZA for a variance, or whether or not you want to allow it is, a permitted use with obviously more serious strings on something, just like anything else. I'd like you to consider that if you guys are all still for allowing this to move forward. I think agriculturally, adding this as a permitted or conditional use in agricultural zone property in A1 district would be a lot more beneficial than heavy industrial, because then we also have the federal government coming in and having some say as to what we do here on local land. So just a thought, if you guys again are comfortable with that, all you're doing by voting to send it to the planning commission is to tell them to, get the tech committee together, hold a public hearing to talk about, what would or would not be acceptable. I don't want to get into the really deep stuff now, but one thing that they say down there in Kentucky is for a distillery or facility that like 25% of the ground, within 25% of the ground within a parcel still has to be used for agricultural purposes. Just a whole bunch of things that go into it. But you're saying, hey, this is interesting. We want to keep this moving forward. I guess that's what I'm approaching you guys for, rather than the planning commission starting with it. You guys can initiate it, send to them. They do all the groundwork, and obviously it comes back to you within a couple months after public hearings and everything.
I would be okay with moving forward.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be a good deal.
Yeah. Besides how things are done in Kentucky, are there any examples from elsewhere in Indiana that are home to distillery operations?
Distilleries down there in Marion County, I found a few, but that was more regulation of distillery,
Yeah.
just distilleries, and they operate as like a commercial business, not, potentially
As a manufacturer?
as a manufacturing.
So then they just
facility.
build a distillery in Hopewell?
Well, did they? Oh. Okay, I know.
I think there was one just finished.
Yeah, didn't you mention that?
I don't know.
I think you did.
think you did.
Yeah, he was in there.
Yeah, there was. I know I think it opened up.
So yeah, expand, and support going forward, but expand the research into potential, examples from within the state as well.
Sure. You guys are comfortable with taking this to the planning commission, at least just to, talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll make the motion that we pass on to the plan commission instructions to develop, and research potential, changes to zoning to allow for distillery.
So I can,
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Anything else for us, Justin?
Nope.
That's it. Rachel?
I'm gonna be going to auditor's conference next week. See you guys.
Anyone else have anything for us?
I do.
Hey, Mark, go ahead.
At the last meeting was brought up, we were talking about our solar ordinances, and I think Dave Pierman mentioned that, what the concerns about changing ordinances, that it may bring up a lawsuit. And I recognize in today's world, anybody could sue anybody. But anyway, I did a diligent search, to try to find where the county got sued because it changed its solar ordinances, and I could not come across anything except where I think there was an an attempt to apply a change in ordinance to somebody that was already permitted. But there again, trying to search on our internet, slow speed internet, it's sometimes difficult. But nevertheless, it sounds like a broken record, and I would like to encourage the entertainment of taking a good serious look at our ordinances, and to some of us, it seems like our presentation to the change of the ordinance is kind of being not looked at, and I think as your constituents, that would be a sad concern for everyone. So I wonder, is there a way that maybe everybody involved could collectively get together and try to hammer this out so that we could get better protection from these solar corporations so that we could help protect our community. And one of the reasons why I bring that up is in the search, I ran across where a county in southern Indiana, close to Owensboro, Kentucky, a solar company has failed to pay people that they contracted with. The solar company did not pay that contractor money. The solar company owns a company like $9 million. And since they're not getting the money, and I never knew this, is that now the contractor who's owed money is filing a mechanical lien against the owners who leased out their land to the solar company. And I think that is so bizarre. Almost to the point I almost think that there ought to be something within our local government to help stop such activity. I mean, yeah, when someone signs a contract, that would have good legal representation, and hopefully they hire someone that is capable of seeking out poor terms in a contract. But I just see it as what a way to grab someone's land, period. I mean, and the thing is, we're fighting with solar. I'm totally against taking out abundance of farmland for an energy source that is so intermittent. And even on a day like today, the amount of power from it was almost to a point of being useless. Why wipe out land for that? But nevertheless, I think, at least going back to the ordinances, considering some of the stuff that's going on, I think we need to get active and get our solar ordinances in order for the protection of our community.
And the farmers that run it out.
I mean, that's an ongoing case, so I have to be careful about what I say. You can read that so many places, and I hope that the farmers in our community are aware of something like that. And I don't know if that's something our local government could kind of take a look into and at least put out some kind of simple. Words that advise them when they take out such or accept such leases with big corporations. That's all I have to say. I brought a copy of that Spencer County activity, whether they're putting a mechanical lien on the farmers if you want it. I also did find a sheet someone put together. It's kind of like 10 different things that someone leasing land to solar ought to consider before signing any contract. I can't find who generated that document. You know, you can't compare it against something that is, you know, granted the grace and this is the Bible. But I think it's not a matter of who wrote it, but it does bring up good words or thoughts that I think anyone in using common sense would apply before they consider signing the lease. But I can leave that with you guys if you wish to look at it.
Yeah, I'd like to take a look at it.
Your sentiments kind of echo something I had said at a panel I was invited to participate in a few years ago at the farm show in Fort Wayne. That's one of the cornerstones of capitalism. Let the buyer beware.
You know,
But on the same hand, who's to say that the contractor and the solar company aren't working in cahoots to grab land for free?
that's a thought I have. I guess one could say it does fall in a realm of possibilities. I mean, how would you really know?
But I will say, I can't speak for the other two commissioners here, but I am still continually receiving feedback on what was proposed, for and against. It's not a dead issue. We're still looking at it, it's still being evaluated. And when both this board and the planning commission deem it appropriate, we will meet and discuss it.
Meet in a public setting.
We have to.
Okay. Well, thank you for your consideration. I think it's well worth our time and efforts to accomplish that. It's it's what was on the internet. I can't include everything you see, but I think it is items worthwhile looking into. This is a little chat about that county down. So southern Indiana.
Yeah, the next time I see the Spencer County Commissioner, I'll have to ask her more about it. Because I see her once a month.
Well, there's quite a bit going on there because a town accidentally permitted solar use of land that was outside of their jurisdiction too. And then that was caught. So there's a little, sounds like there's a lot of little legal issues going on there. And I don't know if it's some of it. And with this mechanical lien, I don't know if it's about cat and mouse game too, but it's interesting.
Yeah,
As much as I don't like solar planted all over good farmland, I still would like to see something where at least those leasing
Protected.
are somewhat protected. I mean, I'd hate to see a farmer around here get hit with their split of a $9 million bill for something that they had no contractual agreement with the solar company. I mean, the contractor is slapping something on the farmer because that's the only way that they can get to the solar company by trying to put a lock on the land that got leased by a farmer. That farmer didn't sign a contract to the people constructing the doing work on us for the solar company. But yet, this is where our laws are used to someone that had such a trivial bit in the activity with the solar company and its construction. It's mind baffling.
And it's not fair.
I'm not trying to take on Spencer County's fight, but it's just an eye opener.
Thank you, Mark, for bringing it to our attention. Any further business? Motion to adjourn.
So moved.